Peter Drucker. Here's why that's important. Everybody's got a different belief. Let's look at these. How many people have heard birds of a feather flock together, but opposites attract? Right? Your word is your bond, but don't believe everything you hear. You have to see it to believe it, but looks can be deceiving. Fish or cut bait, or fake it till you make it. And my favorite, everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will spend its whole life believing it's stupid. Anybody wonder who said that?
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein. So Einstein was pretty smart, but here's another one. Two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. Also Einstein. So there's two sides to every equation. This is what you need to realize. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. As you guys go through this, it's going to seem like the world's spinning out of control. Things are going to be upside down, topsy-turvy. All you can control. You guys need to remember this. There's only two things you can control out of everything going on. And that's your actions and your attitude. How much you work, how diligent you are, what your attitude is towards what you do with your business is all you can control. Everything else is external. And we get so caught up in things we can't control, your actions and your attitude. So what are you going to do? Anybody seen Alice in Wonderland? Alice said, "Which road do I take?" when she asked the cat. The cat said, "Well, where do you want to go?" "I don't know." Then it doesn't matter. Because if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Right? You guys are going to start going through a process of trying to figure out where you're going. What's your vision? What's your value? What do you want to be in your business, in your company, and in your life? Because what you don't want to do is just jump off without planning. This is how most people spend their life. So, how many people want to be a leader? Right? This is what a leader looks like. There's a leader. People are following him. If you don't have good planning, though, and you don't know where you're going, you might kill your followers. So leadership's a lot about planning. How do you become a good leader? This is all about acceleration. How do you become a good leader? Read books. Appreciate success. Understand, these guys that are here that are going to be mentors are successful. Appreciate what they've done for how hard it is to get there. Don't look at people with jealousy. Appreciate what it takes because it's hard work. Study failures. Don't make the same mistakes somebody else has made. Right? The mentors are going to accelerate you through in 16 weeks. Read books. Understand. Have a vision. And appreciate this is all about learning. Right? So what we're looking at is right now, this is you guys. You're all kumbaya, thinking this is great. And Adeo was here, Skeletor last night, and some of you guys already left. Alright? Here's the deal. By the end of the course, I want everybody to look to your left and wave to the person to your left. Look to your right. Half of those people are going to be gone. And you guys are all sitting there saying, "It's not me." No, it's going to be you. Alright? One of you is going to be gone, or both of you, because realize most people won't make it. This is hard. It's tough. But you're going to learn. You're going to get challenged. And it's kind of like Top Chef. Has anybody ever seen Top Chef? Right? Top Chef is a bunch of people and you're given an exercise and you compete, and if you don't make it, if you aren't tough enough, if you don't follow instructions, what happens? You're gone. Well, you guys aren't playing to be Top Chef. You're playing to be Top Chief. Right? This is about being the chief. Whether it's the CEO, whether it's the head honcho, whether it's the big cheese, whether it's the top banana, it doesn't matter. You're playing to win, but you've got a lot of competition. All right, and this is how you win. How many people think this looks kind of good for food? Right? I like eating food. A lot of us do. How many people would agree, rightly or wrongly, it's good to eat healthy? All right. How many of you could cook that meal? Right. Here's what happens. You don't treat the mentors and this class like you're just learning how to watch food. You've got to not be lost in the kitchen. What you're going to learn, it's like a recipe. Right? A recipe tells you, hey, if we're going to bake a cake, here's the steps you go through. It's eggs, it's flour, it's in the oven for a certain amount of time. There's sequences, and if you follow the sequence, You can build your own cake. You guys can decide what kind of cake you want to build. But if you build out a sequence, I don't know how to bake, but my guess is if it goes eggs, flours, milk, oven, and you go milk, flours, oven, eggs, your cake's going to look like this. You're going to build a flat, ugly cake. If you don't pay attention, your business is going to be a flat, ugly business. It's just a reality. So here's the way we do it. Vision and value says, what do we want to do? This is critical because you guys are going to start going through the sequence of figuring out what businesses you want to do. And you've got different things to evaluate. Here's a nice little tool set to do. It's called Begin with the End in Mind. First and foremost, you need to set a specific financial goal of what you want your life to be like. All right, so you guys, as you're doing this, go, wow, if I was 10 years in the future, what's my financial goal? And figure out what that goal is, and then make it bigger by including other people. Right? And this goal is very, very specific to you personally and financially. Right? And the only reason I impress that upon you is I learned this the hard way. All right? None of this is to impress you. Just kind of say, I've made the mistake. My goal, just for what it's worth, was to have a company worth $1 billion by the time I was 33. We took our company public in '99. March of 2000, we were worth $980 million. Does that sound like a success? Here's where I made the mistake. Company worth X, Stephen worth Y. Why, I was asking, was I worth a whole lot less than X? So when you set a goal, be specific about what your specific goals are. And then you say, what do I want to be? Do I want a business or a company? Because there's a difference. It's a big difference. Do I want a product or a service? Do I want a lot of employees or not? Do I want to travel? Do I not? See, if you build this as a lifestyle, this is a criteria of what you want your life to be like in the future. Then when you've got an idea of 2 or 3 or 4 businesses, you go, wow, these are the 12 things I want. Well, this idea gives me 3. This idea, if it works, gives me 5. This one gives me 9. I'm going for this one. Without some sort of filter, you're measuring ideas against the air, and there's nothing to measure against. Figure out what you want to be. Some people love traveling, some people hate it. Some people want a big company, some people don't. Figure out exactly what you want to be. Create your list, write it down, and then measure your opportunities against what you want your life to be like. All right, so this vision and values is, what's my vision of where I want my life to be? And what companies help me get there? So what's your vision? Set your goals. Be specific. Isolate exactly what you need to be successful. Identify who you need, what you need. Create a vision, and then learn how to articulate your vision. And this is the really hard part. People aren't good at articulating. I'm going to use Tim as an example only because I know him. Come here. So most of you as a business are going to go, I want to be the superstar. I'm going to sing. I'm shouting from the top of the mountaintops. Here's the problem. I'm going to do this as a quick little experiment. Listen to what Tim's doing. All right, what song is that? Anybody know? All right, do it one more time. Oh, say, can you... Sorry. Okay, do it one more time. Oh, say, can you see? Here's the problem. When you go out in the world and start telling people about your business, yes, thank you, Tim. Everybody here, give Tim a hand. Yeah, there you go. Okay. When you go out and start talking about your business, it's in your head. What you tell people, they don't understand. It's knocking. You need to learn how to articulate your business in a way people can understand. And here's why the hands are here. I need everybody to clap again real quick. All right, so realize where your hands are. Are they on top? Are they on the side? However your hands are, turn them over and clap the other way. Does that feel a little uncomfortable? All right. The Founders Institute is about being uncomfortable. Clapping still works, but you're going to have to learn to do it differently. All right? Guys are going to come in here and say, here's how you do it. And you're going to go, well, that doesn't feel right. It's going to work, just like clapping. You just got to get used to it. If you clapped every day like this for a week, it would feel natural. Founders Institute's going to do that. And I don't think we're going to have time, but I've got a little visual exercise. If we have time at the end, we'll do. So here's what you need to do. When you set these goals, you say, if I'm successful 10 years from now, here's my financial goals. Here's the kind of company I built. Here's what I want my life to be like. You need to see yourself on top of the mountain 10 years from now. And then you need to stay there. All right, this is hard. Because every day, it's not a straight shot up the mountain. It's twists and turns. See, the definition of success is not giving up. You've got to say, I'm not here at this point at the base of the mountain. I'm here, so all of those things along the way aren't going to stop me. Just like they didn't stop this guy. Does anybody know who this is? I'll fly through it. This guy went into debt when he was 23. His partner took his story, dated a girl, asked her to marry him, turned down, went to Congress, his son died, he had all these problems, ran for Senate, failed. 51. What happened to this guy?
President.
Abraham Lincoln became president of the United States. See, success isn't a straight line. This is what it looks like. This is the success. But if you're here, you need to get here. So is planning important? Would you guys agree planning is important? Here's why it's important. If you guys just jump off, you're in trouble. If you leap without looking, you're going to get eaten. All right? This is about how do you create a plan that's going to help you be successful. Every day is about getting better as a person. Every day is about getting better in business. Every day is about racing through the course and trying to beat the person to where you want to go. All right? So what you need to figure out is how do you chart your course and know your goals? Because if you're just here in the sailboat running around, you're not going to make it. All right? And this is where I don't differ. I was going to say I don't differ from Adeo much, but I do on a lot of things. Here's one. Adeo's big on this thing called a pivot. You guys heard of pivot? I don't believe in pivots. It's not a pivot, it's a tack. And what a tack is in sailing is you're here, but you know your goal is here. You're trying to get there as best you can. A pivot is when you don't know where you're going and your business is completely screwed up. A tack says, I'm going to change course. I'm going to, modify things as I go, but I'm still getting to where my goal is. You can't get here, though, if you don't know where you're going. So you've got to learn to set your goals, and you've got to hold yourself accountable. So can you stay focused? This is so cool. I love this. Hang on, I got to step back. If you guys look at this, don't stare. Just kind of defocus your eyes and tell me what happens to all the circles. Does everybody see them moving? All right, here's the exercise. Every one of you, I want you to pick a black dot on the screen and stare at that dot, and somebody tell me what happens. Go ahead. You got it right. What's it do? Stops moving. Focus. I didn't tell you which dot to pick. I don't care which dot to pick. I don't care what your business is. It's not up to me to decide what you want. You need to focus on whatever you decide to focus on, and everything around it will stop spinning. If you don't learn to do that, you're going to get distracted. People are going to pull you off. You're going to say, oh no, well look, here's my shiny object. No, here is where I'm focused. And everything else stops. You've got to get to where you can do that. Otherwise, this is the true life of an entrepreneur. You may have heard this. Phone comes in. Hey, I need AP. Please hold while I transfer you to that department. This is the entrepreneur wearing all the hats. This isn't about you wearing all the hats. Your greatest strength in your business is also your greatest weakness. You need to figure out how to bring in employees to build a company. And you've got to decide which kind of employees you want. You could say, oh, I want a bunch of cats. I want some things that are independent, that don't need coddling, that aren't puppies, that are just going to run wild. You can say, I want a bunch of lions. They're strong, they're regal, they're just going to go out. You can say, I want crows, right? The straightest point is like the crow flies. Or you could say, I want a bunch of rhinoceroses. I want a team that's just going to charge and take no prisoners. Here's the problem. That's called a herd. That doesn't sound too bad. Anybody know what a group of wild cats is called? It's not called a pride. A pride is if they're all the same. If they're different, that's why they're different. It's called a destruction. A group of crows is called a murder. And a group of rhinoceros is called a crash. Now to me, that doesn't sound too good. What you want to be is an eagle. Right? We want to soar above. We want to be regal and fly and say, that's exactly what we want. An eagle doesn't go running up like a puppy dog and talk to everybody. He flies and picks what he wants, and he goes down and he gets it. You can't do it on your own, though. What you really want is a bunch of eagles flocking together. Does anybody know what a group of eagles is called that flock together? It's called a convocation. Here's why I found this fascinating. I keep asking you guys questions. This is all about learning. What is the term convocation? Does anybody know what it means? Pretty close. Really good. It's a group of people brought together for a special purpose. That's your business. Eagles flying together for a special purpose. How do you line these people up? Your business is like building a building. You need to think of yourself like the architect. If you're building a building, it doesn't matter that you know how to paint the walls and hang the art and do the carpet and put the... It doesn't matter you know how to do that. You say, if I'm building a business, who are the absolute best people I can get in every phase of my business? Who do I know in finance? Who's in marketing? Who are the best people out there? Because it doesn't matter. If you were building a house, would you guys agree, if you had your choice between building it yourself and having money and paying the best people in the world to build it for you, how many would build it themselves? How many would let others do all the work? That's what we need to do. You need to think of your business, how can I build a team? And when you're building your team, when you have this vision, you need to start getting people in early. Negotiate early and often with the people you're bringing in, or they think they have more value. It's like the guy in the restaurant. See this guy? He kind of looks happy now because he just opened. Here's the problem. Every one of you guys will go through this if you don't get this right, and it's not fun. The restaurant guy spent 3 years picking the best location, leveraged his house, lived off his credit cards, bought the equipment, and then went out and hired the best chef he could. But he didn't negotiate, and 3 months in, everybody's showing up, eating the food, they love it. Who thinks they own that business? No, the chef. The chef is there working every day. The chef is the guy that says, people are showing up for me. This is my business. What are you doing as the owner? The owner's not. See, people forget all the hard work you do. Negotiate early and often, or people think they have more value. We've done this so many times. We do an equity term sheet with people in advance of them coming in. And I can't go through it all now, but we tie triggers to that person going full time. So I get them in as an advisor. I put targets on for them to hit certain goals, and then I tie their big equity component to if and when they go full time. So I negotiate in advance dollar amount, salary, equity, compensation, vesting, but none of this stuff triggers unless they go full time. We've had so many people come in early to help us in the businesses, and they didn't make it through full time, but we got their service, they added value. Negotiate early and often. Learn the 4 quadrants. Anybody seen this? Do you know it? Basically, it's a Stephen Covey thing. It says, here's the different quadrants of your time. Quadrant 1, urgent, crisis, pressing problems. Quadrant 2, prevention, relationship, recognizing opportunities. Quadrant 3, interruptions, phone. This is where most people spend their time, and this is where you fail. This is the whole open door policy that I'm not a big fan of. I close my door when I'm at my office to get my work done. If my door's open, people are coming in. Hey, you got a second? Hey, I have a quick question. Those are interruptions. Those are things that are urgent to somebody else but not important to you and your business. Learn how to focus and stay out of quadrant 3 when you're moving through your company. But also, this is my own needs quadrant because these people kill you. You're trying to build your company. You've got a vision. You've got your values. You say, I'm going to find great people. Here's guys that have interest and time. Has the time, has the interest, has the background, has the credibility. Those are cool. This guy, no interest, but has the time. No big deal. My favorites right here, no interest and no time. Anybody want to know why these are my favorite? Because I don't waste time. Fast no's better than a slow maybe. These are the guys that will kill you in your business. These are the people that have all the interest, background, credibility, and they have no time to help you. You will get sucked in to these people, and don't do it. They've got great credibility, they're so excited, and they have no time. You keep going, oh, but he's so close. He's there. No, he's not. Don't get sucked in there. You'll die. All right, anybody want to guess what these people are doing? God, you guys started out so enthusiastic, and these are supposed to be somewhat easy, but they are trick questions. But don't worry. You can get it right and still be wrong.
Repelling?
What are they doing?
Repelling?
Who said repelling? Good job. How many people think they're mountain climbing? How many people think they're repelling? Whatever. It's harder to climb up a mountain than it is to rappel down it. Most people try and build their business climbing up the mountain. You need to learn how to rappel down. You're what rappel down means. When you're starting out in the company, in your business, and you've got a vision, build an advisory board, not a director board. You'll learn the difference. A board of directors has a lot of issues tied to it. An advisory board is very simple. A lot of times it's non-compensated. You can add value to that person. They'll help you. But advisors are invaluable. They have a path of knowledge. They have credibility. They've already made the mistakes. Learn how to create value for them. Ask how you can help them. But figure out for your advisors, what do you need in your business? Every company we have, we've got a core set of advisors that are specific to not only what that business has, but what it needs at that time. You know, we have a mobile technology that just launched 6 years later. 3.5 or 4 years ago, we thought we were a switch company. Then we thought we were an ad platform. Now we're something completely different that nobody's ever done. Our advisors have changed as we've moved along. But value your advisors. Learn how to use them. Here's another big one. When you're going to your business, take meetings early and often. You've got great mentors here. You've got great advisors. There's all kinds of resources. Take a meeting early, but go in and be humble. Right? Go in and say, here's what I'm working on. What would it take to make something like this happen? Here's what I'm working on. This is my favorite right here. Why won't this idea work? I've learned more about every company we've done by asking guys that have a lot more experience than me, why won't this work? When you open yourself up to negative criticism, when you open yourself up and say, here's what I'm doing, here's my baby, I don't want you to tell me it's pretty, I wouldn't be wasting my time, why won't this work? That's when you get value. Because those are the real objections you're going to have to overcome. And your friends aren't going to tell you. Your parents aren't going to tell you. Your cousin, Joe the plumber, none of those people know what they're doing. Go to people that know what they're doing. Here's what I'm doing. Why won't this work? And go early. You're not going to them saying, here's how great I am. No. Humble. Why won't this work? What can I do to get better? What would it take to one day do business with somebody like you? You know, go take meetings with some of the venture guys, not under the premise you're pitching them. You know, go talk to Ted and the guys at Mission or some of these and offer to take them to coffee and say, here's what I'm working on, Ted. What would we need to do to one day maybe get funded by somebody like you? Doesn't mean you have to take his money. Learn what it takes early and develop those relationships. And then ask this question. Most people in power don't get asked this question, what can I do to help you? Right? Because most people are kind of afraid, oh, it's this guy. What? This is the wrong way to ask, by the way. There's a more efficient way to ask people. Here's the efficient way. And I've done this so many times, and the answers you get are just so insightful. What are the top 2 or 3 things you're most passionate about? What are the 1 or 2 things that are your biggest problems you're trying to solve right now? What one issue? It's always 1 or 2 or 3. It's not, hey, what can I do to help you? Hey, who do you know? All that stuff is so random and so irrelevant. You have to isolate and focus. And people in positions of power, when you ask them a question like this, will tell you exactly what they're most passionate about, and that's what you can keep in mind to help them with. That's how you can add value to other people. It's really simple. So learn how to ask questions. Tornado technique. This is really the basis when you're figuring your company out. This is sort of a technique of saying, here's how you can describe what your company is. Because all of you guys are going to go through it. You're going to have to do this in 90 seconds, in 2 minutes. All right? Realize there's an emotional value of what you do. There's an industry, there's a category, there's a company. Here's what I mean. I want everybody to clear their mind. I have 4 minutes left. We're going to fly. All right? I'm not even going to do the other company. All right, I want everybody in the room to listen. I'm going to explain one company real quick. You ready? We have a company, Ronistar. We're an ASP and an SAS. We help large companies redeploy idle assets using a proprietary electronic currency. We're an Oracle FI integrator or an SAP integrator through the NetWeaver platform. So we're a cost avoidance, procurement reduction, or we're an EPS initiative direct to the bottom line. What do? Tim kind of gets it because he and I've talked about it. All right. Here's tornado technique over here. You guys ready? We have a company called RonaStar. What we do is help really big companies save a lot of money. We primarily work in industries like automotive, manufacturing, and airlines. Some of our clients are United Airlines, NASA, and Chicago Public Schools. Within those big companies, we sell primarily to CFOs. And right now we're trying to meet the CFO for the state of California, the United States Navy, and Los Angeles Unified. If you know any CFOs looking to save money, I want to talk to them. What does RonaStar do? We help companies. And what am I looking for? Everything else is irrelevant. You guys are going to knock on the table all day long and people aren't going to understand your business. Figure out what your value is and exactly what you need, who you want to talk to, and then start learning how to ask to get to those people. So I'm going to skip this. Wet Rock is what we're working on now. It's an environmental one. Just to prove a point, this is what. The people we're asking for in Wet Rock, does anybody know Mike Duke, Vinod Khosla, Alan Salzman, Doug Bann, or James Woolsey? Does anybody know Mike Duke? Don't know who Mike Duke is? Vinod? Some people? Yep. Alan, Doug Bann, Woolsey. This is what's interesting. Mike Duke, chairman of Walmart. Just met him 2 weeks ago in New York. Vinod, I haven't met yet. Alan Salzman, I met 3 weeks ago. Doug Bann runs everything for Bill Clinton. He created Clinton Global Initiative. Doug's on the board of 2 of our companies now. Woolsey was the former CIA director. I met him 5 weeks ago in Washington. CIA director, Bill Clinton. Wasn't because I'm special. I just knew how to ask for exactly who I wanted. And ultimately, somebody knows these people. If you don't know them, I don't care. I'm not trying to get to all the people you know. I'm trying to get to the people I need to get to. You guys need to be that same way. Focus on who you want and learn how to get them. Vision and value. Raising capital summed up in 3 simple words. Anybody want to know what those 3 words are? Who in here is a VC? Somebody coming up after me is a venture guy? No? All right. Raising capital is easy, or raising money is easy. Capital follows customers. That's all you need to know about business. The first question you're going to get asked, who's your customer? Who's using it? Capital follows customers. Focusing on the money is okay, but every time I ask somebody, what do you need the money for? We're going to hire these people. What are you hiring these people for? Oh, we're going to build this. What are you building this for? To sell to this. It's all about your customer. The quicker you can figure out how to get a customer when you're starting your business, the quicker capital will follow. Just remember that. That's why I said take meetings early and often. Take meetings with the people you want to be your customers and ask them what you can do to one day do business with them. Don't make excuses. There's hundreds of companies that were started in bad times. Microsoft, Intel, Sun Microsystems. Don't make excuses. Build your own story. This guy had a story. He was an employee. No one believed in him. He had a national chain, created Starbucks. When times are tough, ask yourself, hey, if Howard Schultz is my hero, what would Howard do? What would Howard do when things are tough? Find somebody you can believe in. What do you tell others? What's your belief? What's your goal? What's your conviction? What do you say? This is what I used to say. People go, oh, well, what if you don't make it? I'd say, you know what, it's okay. I'm following my dream. If I make it, I get to retire my parents early. I get to send my kids to school. I get to get back to my college. But if I don't make it and I fail, I can get a job and I'll be just like you. See, to me, failing is a job because I get to change my life and my family's life if I'm successful. I know what I want my vision to be. I know what it takes to get there. And I always remember, sky's the limit. 3, 2, 1, and I'm done.